Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, prepare for radical change here in America. In fact, you may not even recognize her tomorrow. The truth is, there are lots of changes happening right now in America. Everything from talks of war to even World War III, to talks of an unstable economy, to nationalism, to populism, to leftists, to mainstream media, to alternative media. All kinds of things are being thrown at us left and right. Well, the truth is there is change coming to America, be it good change or be it bad change. That's to be determined. But there are a lot of things that I can look at and say, this is where I believe that we're headed. And that's what today's report is about. Well, first of all, some of the changes that I recognize from the very get-go, and it's a very good change, is the rise of nationalism, the rise of patriotism, the rise of populism. Populism meaning you believe there's an elite ruling class pulling things from behind the scenes. And there's a lot of that. There are candidates popping up like Bernie Sanders, though he's a more left candidate, he definitely held that view. And Donald Trump, whose entire campaign was run on drain the swamp. And that's hopefully exactly what he is doing right now. But the rise of all this shows us that there is an avid awakening of the American people and even people all across the globe, not just here in America, to the New World Order policies and agenda that are slapping us all in the face. Organizations like the World Economic Forum, like Davos, like World Bank, like the United Nations are all banding together to attack the nationalists, to attack the populists, to attack anyone who is anti their globalist New World Order agenda. Now, people are also waking up to the Agenda 21 atrocities that the United Nations are attempting to push on citizens, and not just citizens here in America, but in the entire world, pushing us and forcing us to have their go green technologies and stuff implemented. But not only that, but at the same time that they're pushing that, they're pushing a globalist mindset in their New World Order curriculums like Common Core, which has a United Nations backing and background and lifeline. When you trace the Common Core curriculum that's in all the schools today, it has a New World Order backing. Well, all these are starting to come out in the open, and movements and events such as Brexit are happening, and more Brexits. There's populist and nationalist candidates from Yemen to Britain to France that were at least one of the candidates. We know that she didn't get it, but there's candidates all over the place that are rising, populist and nationalist candidates, and they're taking office and they're getting up there and they're fighting this New World Order globalization. And this is huge. This is good, and it needs to go viral that this is exactly what is happening, because now the New World Order agenda is in everyone's face. They try to deny it and say there is no such thing as the New World Order. Well, they can't do that anymore. It's so in our face that now they've had to admit it. And now that they've admitted it, well, the citizens of the world, quite frankly, do not like it. And I don't know about you, but I don't want no UN disarmament policy in my life telling me what I can and can't say and telling me what guns I can and can't own. It's none of their business. This is huge, and probably one of the biggest radical changes coming to America. Now, another change that's coming to America is already here that I see is alternative media. Channels such as myself, such as multiple others out there, are out here waking up the masses, and we're proving, using their own documentation, using government documents from FBI.gov and all the different links and sources via the Freedom of Information Act, we're proving to you via video clips how the mainstream media is dying and lying to you. And people are starting to see it, and they're waking up and they're saying, hey, these alternative media channels are onto something. Look, CNN just lied about the color of his skin. Look, CNN didn't give the whole picture about what happened in Las Vegas. CNN covered information about what happened on September 11th. So there's a huge awakening in which the internet has brought to us via outlets like YouTube and multiple others that they're censoring, by the way. But there is a rise of alternative media. And in that same venue of change, I also have to say, we see the good rising and the information war being fought, but we also have the other side of that, which is the censorship and the attacking on us coming from the far left that's attempting to shut us up and shut us down, starting with our wallets, unmonetizing our channels. But there's ways in which we can go around that. Ergo, the reason I have partners like Trade Genius Academy right now, check him out below. But this is what they're doing. They're pushing us in a corner, trying to shut us up. But I see that as radical change because our voices are finally being heard. And the fact that they're pushing back shows me we're making some massive, massive headway. Another radical change that's hitting America right now is over 4,000 somewhat, and I don't remember the exact number, federal sealed indictments within the past 3 weeks. Little over that, but that's unheard of. I believe there's only like 1,000 some odd normally, I believe, a year, but here we have over 4,000 sealed for different reasons, everything from minor causes to civil cases, but they're sealed, and it could include high officials. It may not include high officials. I think a lot of them came from the Anthony Weiner laptop profiles, which means it could be massive runs on pedophile rings, massive runs even within elected officials is a possibility. I don't know till it plays out, but either way, I see some swamp draining going on, and I see some pretty high up elected officials like James Comey and Robert Mueller and even Hillary Clinton on edge. She's on edge, folks. This is big. The fact that they're even a little scared makes me know that we have radical change happening here in America, but it also makes me know that they're not afraid to stand against it. So we could be looking at a negative radical change in the fact that some of those globalists are going to be fighting back, and I don't know what that looks like. But in the meantime, I'm happy we are making headway. Well, another radical change that's happening here in America is leakers, whistleblowers, Julian Assange, Snowden, all these guys are coming out in full force. WikiLeaks, as we know, he's dumped all kinds of information on the Podesta emails, the Hillary emails, documented information, even has evidence for Russia, the uranium one deal. I mean, all kinds of things are coming out from every corner because everybody is looking, everybody is on edge, and everybody knows who the crooks are, and they are being exposed on a daily basis. That is radical change coming here in America, and it's already here, folks. It's already here. Another change is the left is pushing back. I kind of weeded that into all of the ones above, but that's a sign that we are getting radical change and we are making headway, that they are pushing back. Not only that, but like I said, a forewarning that with the pushback, they could let out a war. They could push or force Donald Trump's hands to push North Korea's buttons, or allow something to happen from Madagascar, or downturn the economy. There's a million things that they could do. Will they do it? I don't know. Time will tell, but they're getting on their last limb. And look, we have to get to this point in order to make and get to where we want. And I want my kids free, and I want my children's free. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make that freedom happen, because I love the hell out of the United States of America, and I stand firm in that. Some other changes that I want to mention, and these are kind of, other things. We have a growing awakening to organics. That's another thing. People are getting awakened on both sides, left and right. They're both waking up to the GMOs and how they're messing and screwing with our health, how they see the rise in things like autism, dementia, and Alzheimer's, and all of that. They see these things happening and they say, there's GMOs in our food, chemtrails in our skies, fluoride in our water. Maybe that's why. Because prior to all of that, there was not even close to the number of cancers and everything else that are happening today. So people are seeing and knowing the real awakening on that, and they're waking up to the depopulation agenda that is being put out by these globalists. thankfully. And this is huge radical change here in America. And finally, one last thing is the rise of technology. Now, technology can be a good or bad thing. There's lots of bad things and lots of good things that can happen. We know that they're talking about brain chip implants. I'm never, ever going to do that. I want to just keep my brain as is, and I don't trust any chip in which somebody can turn it on with the flick of a button and make me think a certain way. That's bad. But there's good changes and bad changes with technology. But technology has to be labeled up there, because with technology comes power. With technology, they can do all kinds of crazy things. And the questions are going to be asked in the very near future: what lines need to be drawn? Like, I'm not cool with cloning or screwing with DNA, but the questions eventually are going to have to be asked and addressed. That's radical change coming to America. Are you ready for it? Good thing to ask yourself. Anyhow, I'd love to hear your comments and concerns. Please don't forget to check out my partner at TradeGeniusAcademy.com. As you know, he's got a whole academy there, and Bitcoin is going out the roof. So with that, make sure you go to his class, take his class. About a year ago or months ago, we told you guys to get on that bandwagon, and those who did made a whole lot of money so far. So make sure you go to Trade Genius Academy. There's a link below. Click the link below to check that out. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.